Okay. I'm assuming I'm looking at the camera up in the sky there, right? We are here with Monolith Productions, a company that I'm familiar with. And they have created an amazing game called Shadow of Mordor. And for the first time, you're going to get the chance to see its amazing Nemesis system be played live simultaneously by a bunch of people. So unless you've actually physically gone to E3 or went and visited Monolith's offices, there's no way you have actually seen this thing and how cool it is take place, where the game evolves and changes as you play it based on the decisions you're making in the action. And with me is a gentle and kind sir, and you're the designer.
A designer, yep.
No, he's the designer. He did everything. He coded it and everything. But go ahead and introduce yourself and let the audience know.
Sure. So actually, we're pretty excited here today because as well as myself, Mike DePlata on the design. We've also got Kevin Steffens, who's our studio head, is here. But also,
see, look, you can see yourself.
But the reason we're really excited as well, we've got Bob Roberts, who's the lead designer of the game. We've got Jessica Maznica, producer, and we've got Ryan Ledeen, again, one of our designers. And what we can do here that we weren't even able to do at E3 is we're going to have 3 versions of the game in our Nemesis system running in parallel. And each one of these guys is going to be able to play it out differently, and we're going to be able to play and pursue different strategies, pursue different enemies that you guys ask us to go after, so we can really see all of the different choices and how this can play out. So, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah. So wait, you'll see in the broadcast here, underneath us, you see 3 Shadow of Mordor screens. And each one of those screens that you're seeing is a different player who's on a PS4 in the back in the game room. And so you're going to be able to see them all play at the exact same time, but you'll watch as they make different choices. You'll see all the permutations that take place, and we'll be able to stop the gameplay, answer questions, have the audience tell us, let's try something different. We're watching the chat. I see it's Yapit's tank. Jessica is a fox. I see Andy Arocha21 who said cool hello to the entire active chat. We're going to be able to talk to you guys, and if you want to Skype in, you see there's you need to go to twingalaxieslive.com, and you'll be able to see the Skype buttons. You can click it, and then you'll actually be able to Skype in and talk directly to the developers here and get your questions answered. And Rady, if I can get you to change the camera over to the camera 8, okay, then we will do that. All right.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is each one of these guys is going to approach the game in a different way, a different style. And apologies in advance if we're a bit husky and our voices are breaking a bit here. We had a pretty good E3, so there was a little bit of celebration last night, so sorry about that. But anyway, so, excuse me, Bob is going to take a sort of really tactical strategy. He's going to gather information on these enemies. He's going to use their strengths and weaknesses. He's going to sort of take them down tactically, probably use some more stealth. So to give you an example of how that works, we've just zoomed in on one of these war chiefs here. We can see these guys have a whole list of strengths and weaknesses that you can learn about. So this guy's invulnerable to ranged. This guy hates burns. If we try and use the environment and incinerate him, he's going to become insane. If we charge in on a Caragor or a beast and try and attack him, he's going to be able to take them down. So, yeah, Bob's really going to focus on showing how planning and strategy can be used to take down these enemies. And then Ryan, he's going to use a different approach to defeat these war chiefs. He's going to focus on the power of the Wraith and on domination, and on how much we can actually use the power of the Wraith to bend these guys to our will, build our own army, turn Mordor against itself, set it on fire, and get them to actually sort of bring down Sauron's army from within using our Wraith powers. And then finally, Jessica is just going to be all about full-on violence and directly going after these guys, just taking it head on and just slaughtering all the way. So 3 very, very sort of different play styles, but even within all of those, we should see a whole bunch of different choices, different strategies able to sort of emerge and see how this plays out.
So so I want to check with the audience here. Down at the bottom of the screen, I believe we're looking at the far left is who? Who is the far left?
That's me, DJ Sketch 04.
Oh, not on Skype. I'm in the actual broadcast. Jessica is far left, so we'll call that screen 1. The next one over is who? Ryan. Ryan is screen 2, and the third one over is Bob, so that you know who is doing what. And we're seeing the chat right now, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Welcome if you're just joining the broadcast. We've got Monolith here. They're going to be showing Shadow of Mordor and the Nemesis System, and you're going to get to see it live and how 3 people playing at the same time in different games, how the game just starts shaping around their play style. And this is sort of a first. So if you really want to if you're watching on Twitch right now, you won't be able to click each screen and make it bigger. If you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you'll be able to actually select the screens that you see down below and specifically follow the players in what they're doing. Totally up to you, though.
So maybe what we can do quickly, because I can see Bob's screen here in particular, we might just give a little bit of a guided tour of the 5 war chiefs in this part of Mordor, and then maybe if you guys can help us out and give us some suggestions of who we should go after, and then also we can answer other questions and stuff as we go through as well. So Bob, if you could start up on the left.
By the way, you got Michael. Can we outfit Talion a la Shops?
Good question. Okay, can I come back to that?
Yeah,
or should I
you
get
go
that
back to that.
first? So
Up to
we'll check these guys out first, and then we'll definitely come back there. So we've got Zumug the Defender. He's level 10. He's not too strong, although, obviously he's got this heavy armor, he's got this shield, he's got this bloody weapon. And something that makes these guys really distinct, first there's their personality, there's how they play out. This guy's a defender. That's a big hint about his strategy. Their motives, that'll give clues as to their personality, and that'll help you learn where you can find them in the world, what they're likely to be doing. Bodyguards, so that's the other thing. You're not going to be fighting one of these bosses at once, because they can actually bring other bodyguards with them. You can be fighting multiple bosses simultaneously. So, and we can see those lines in the Nemesis system, in this Sauron's army page. One of them's pointing to the bodyguard on the right that we have the information about. And the other guy on the left is just a dark silhouette. That's because we haven't gathered his intel yet. So we need to get out there, and yes, we will have the Wilhelm scream. Sorry, peripheral vision there. So probably what we would want to do is make sure we went out, got the intel, learned the strengths and weaknesses of these bodyguards, and kind of plan that approach before we go after this war chief. And then if we head in on Zumug, if we click to the right as well, we can see the strengths and weaknesses. So hates and fears are the ways their personalities are going to make them play out differently. So this guy, if we try and incinerate him, he'll become enraged. Because of all this heavy armor, we can't use ranged on him, so it's going to have to get up close in melee, or potentially wear him down first with some stealth. And also with that shield, he's got a bunch of really powerful attacks as well. So, but there's always ways and possibilities to take him down. So we can use combat finishes, use stealth, and get in on him. Okay, so we'll have a quick look through the other war chiefs along this row. Look, the serpent. This guy's different. He's a hunter. We can see he's got that poisonous spear. Yes, archery does have a reticle. Sorry, it's sort of multitasking here. He's a serpent. He's slightly more powerful. That means we'll get better loot if we take him down. He's an experienced monster hunter. And the way we need to draw out the serpent is by basically killing his followers to draw him out. And let's just check his strengths and weaknesses. Again, explosions, whereas burning that previous guy would actually make the situation worse for us. It's going to be a really valuable way to take down the serpent. But by contrast, stealth is not going to work. Also, He's a sniffer. What that means is we can see from this guy looking at him, he's a monster hunter, he's a tracker. So it's not just us hunting down these orcs and these war chiefs. They can hunt and track us as well. And okay, quick, let's check out number 3. While we're doing that, maybe I'll just cut in some questions as we go. It is an open world. You can go anywhere that you like within each zone, but it's divided into multiple zones because Mordor covers many sort of hundreds of miles from side to side. So what we're actually going to do in the opening part of the game, we're in Udun, Sindarin, Fahel, just inside the Black Gates. And then as we progress, as we defeat our enemies, we're actually unlocking additional zones and regions. So this one here is the Sea of Nirn. So many, many hundreds of miles deeper into Mordor behind enemy lines. And that's the second one we've just revealed here at E3. So this guy, the advisor, he's probably a bit smarter, a bit cleverer, a bit more tactical, also 2 bodyguards. And because he's a tactician, the way that we're going to draw him out is if we actually make his followers slaughter each other. You know, he's all about having to dominate and keep control of this stronghold. But he has a real weakness. If we can get the jump on him, if Bob can sneak up on him, could actually kill this guy in one hit if we can infiltrate into that fortress. But if we don't kill him in one hit, that hate of defeat is going to mean he's going to come back even stronger. So it's always sort of risk rewards and always trying to make sure they play out differently. Okay, next guy. And sorry, just grab a question. Did we get inspiration from Romans? That's a good question. I think maybe not specifically, but we certainly, 2 things, looked at a lot of historical inspiration, a lot of armor. Like we want everything to be, you know, to be authentic within Tolkien. One of the things that makes it such an amazing universe for us to work in is the attention to detail and the history. So we really did try and make sure everything was A, functional, and B, it fits the technology level of this time in Middle-earth and also of the sort of technology level of the orcs and the materials they could manufacture. So definitely looked at that. In some ways, yeah, they're maybe a bit more like the barbarians and the Vikings than the Romans, but definitely a lot of historical references. And there goes my voice again. It's after terrible karaoke. Oh my God, sorry. No, you don't. So Bowmaster. So there's a name that's a pretty strong clue about how to fight this guy. He's got that crossbow. He's got the trophies of previous victims that are attached to the front of that crossbow. And the way to draw him out, you know, is to get up close, prove that you're a worthy challenger by taking down his followers without taking any damage. Again, power level 12, and we can see he's killed 3 other orcs. So, you know, that can sort of be where we see these sort of trophies he's got on that crossbow. And if we go over on the right trigger, okay, but conversely, this guy's not a beast hunter, so if we can get a Caragor, a Graug, one of these big monsters, and bring them in there, that's going to be a way to one-shot kill this guy. And he's interesting as well. He really actually looks after his bodyguards, the guards that he's protectors. We try and take them down first. That's what's going to send this guy into a rage, and he's going to become super dangerous. He's already a quick shot. You double that up again when he becomes enraged, and he's going to be extremely deadly. So another tough fight there. Okay, kill the Bowmaster. All right, we'll get there. One more, last one. The Pot Licker, another Spearman. Okay, poison weapons. Because of that poison, we draw him out by going for the grog stacks. Let's check out his strengths and weaknesses. Again, vulnerable to stealth, invulnerable to range, and another monster slayer. Okay, so that's quick tour of these 5 guys. Then we'll get back to the shops, and then we'll jump in. So just 1 to 5, any suggestions of who we should go after? Do we get runes when we dominate? No, only when you kill them. So that's another risk reward. Do you want the resource of keeping them? Okay, who are we going after? Can we customize orcs? Yes. Will the orcs have Cockney accents? All right. So we just need to decide who to go for first. Let's go for 1. And now 1 more question, then we'll go for it. Straight up, well, we sort of want to show how it can play out tactically. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn about this bodyguard first, gather that intel, and then plan that attack, and then Bob can go after him. And now I can come back to some of the other questions. Okay, so first, do we outfit Talion? We do have different skins as well. So one of them's the Dark Ranger skin as well. But because we're following this character's story, it's not fully customizable. You know, there is, you know, Talion. You know, we have the particular appearance that we've created for him, and also the other thing that's important is because he's going on this journey where he starts off as a ranger of the Black Gates. He gets killed, he gets resurrected, and in some ways, as his power is growing and he's gaining more power of the Wraith, he's also somewhat descending into darkness as well. So basically how he looks and how his appearance evolves as we go through the story is a really important part of his character and his evolution in the story. Okay. Sorry, I'll just grab these. What happens if the orc kills you and fails to enter the hierarchy? So if one of them kills you, that's a big deal in orc society. You know, the Grave Walker is pretty much the monster to the monsters to these guys. From their point of view, you're the biggest villain in Mordor. So if they take you down, that's a big deal. And they are going to enter the hierarchy, even if they have to kill another existing captain to get in there and enter it. So Bob's grabbed a worm here. Worms are guys that enable you to basically get access to the information of Sauron's army. And we've learnt who this other bodyguard is, Latbag the Endless. Okay, does Talion degrade from dying? No, he doesn't. But what does happen is the world evolves. So Talion will be resurrected by the Wraith on the towers, but the Orc Society itself will move forward. So not only will the guy who killed you get promoted, but any other missions that were currently taking place within the world, all the different power struggles, all the missions they're going on, they'll get resolved. They can live or die. They'll level up. So here Bob is actually running around. It's at night now, and because it's night time, Mordor gets even more dangerous because it wasn't dangerous enough during the day, and this is now crawling with ghouls that are another species of monsters. Will there be companions? It's another good question. So I guess there's a couple of ways to answer that. We do have, so I guess the short answer is kind of yes. We do have our story missions. Of course, we're super excited. We've worked with Christian Canamessa on the story. We haven't really shown much or anything of those story missions as yet, but there's a whole bunch of those different story threads, those characters that you meet, and there are missions with those guys where they will be accompanying you. And then secondly, another part of that question is as you dominate and bend these orcs to your will, these orc captains to your will, you can send them on missions, so you can basically accompany them and fight alongside them in those as well. And I guess the other thing that's sort of interesting is the main character himself, Talion, and the Wraith. They really are two characters. So particularly at some points in the story as we go through some of the missions, the fact that those two guys are working together becomes really important as well. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to check out how's Ryan going. So Ryan, again, is using... Oh, he slaughtered that guy. The power of domination. So we can actually... There's no limitation to how many of these guys you can actually conquer, bend to your will. If you wanted to go right the way through a stronghold and actually get the entire thing primed and set up, so once battle kicks off, all of these guys are going to fight alongside with you. That's totally possible as well. So we sort of didn't get as much of a chance to do that at E3 because most of our demos were a bit more limited to 20-25 minutes. So it's nice to be able to show you guys a bit more depth into that as well. And I can't see the screen, but I'm assuming Jessica's doing some good slaughtering. Oh, excellent. She was stomping around on a ground, which are one of our big beasts. So Wraith powers seem overpowered. So that's a good one as well. I mean, partly this particular area, the Sea of Nirn, we've gone deep in. This is the second half of the game. one of the I guess there's two ways to answer this question. One is from the game design point of view, wanting to have real power growth in the game. So when you begin, you're closer to just having your skills. As a ranger, it's more about your physical stealth and combat. But by the end of the game, you know, this spirit that's within you, this wraith, this is someone that is a genuinely legitimate rival in power to Sauron, in the same way that Galadriel was when she was talking about what would happen if she took the ring, or of course when the White Council faced the Necromancer in Dol Guldur. This is a very powerful character. So he's probably not as powerful as the Army of the Dead, you know, and those sort of game changers, but he's certainly someone that's really significant in his power. Right, sorry. How do you burn orcs? Right. So again, this is fun. That's really cool. Probably my voice is going to go, but it's cool. Oh, excellent. So Bob's taken down one of those bodyguards, and that's great. So not only has he made the boss fight he's going to get against that war chief easier, he's also picked up a rune. So that's a smite rune. He's now going to, sorry, if we just go back, check that out. We can see that he took down Latbag the Endless. He's going to get focus back if he can do a combat flurry. So these are if you can grab your enemies, use them as a meat shield, shank them in combat, take them down. He's going to be able to use that to build up his focus, which is slow-mo. So can really use a combination of melee attacks going into range attacks. And sorry, I got distracted there.
That's okay. Someone asked, he said in E3, when you take down an orc, does someone eventually come to take his place back?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, and I remembered the other question as well, was about the fire. So part of the power of the Wraith, as we see with the Rings of Power, Gandalf's ring, Narya, it's the Ring of Fire. So manipulating light, manipulating flame, that's part of the power of what the Wraith can do. So it's through the Wraith that you can incinerate, use fires, burn your enemies. And the question, as you eliminate these enemies, do they get replaced? So yes, when you die, or you can choose to wait, you can choose to pass time, because you might actually want the living world to change and evolve. And if you want that, or if you die, time's going to move forward. When it moves forward, new guys are going to come into the hierarchy, and Sauron's army guys are going to move up. The other thing is, if a war chief has a bodyguard and that war chief is eliminated, he's going to get replaced by his bodyguard as well. So you can use that to your advantage as well.
Will there be any big boss fights besides the war chiefs, or just stronger orcs? Said Catcaster.
Yes. So is the again, there's, you know, we're obviously really excited about the Nemesis system, and we think it's a really key part of the sort of game and bringing the world to life and making the enemies fun. But it really is just one part of the game. So you know, we're really excited that we're going to be able to show, more of that later. We also do have a lot of story missions. As I mentioned, you know, sort of working with Christian earlier, and they include some pretty epic boss fights as well. And then there's also, I think we've shown the Black Captains, who are kind of some of Sauron's, basically almost Sauron's bodyguards in the same way as these guys work together. And there's some pretty epic boss fights against those guys as well.
Let's try to do some rapid fire short answers to all these questions.
See if we
can do it. Ready?
Okay.
We'll start with. Wow, this is flying. We should probably put it in. We're getting a lot of people in here. We could put the chat into slow mode.
I'll put it in slow mode.
Okay. Whoever we'll put it in the slow mode. Tenrosu says the day went by for him, and he loves the fact that he feels like he's killing all the orcs. Do you use in-game cutscenes or cinematic cutscenes?
Both.
You get them both. Let's keep going. Can you name all the monster types, please?
We haven't actually revealed them all yet, because some of them are in those boss fights and so on. So I can name all the ones that we've revealed, which are the Caragors and the Graugs and the Ghouls, but not the ones that we haven't yet. Oh yeah,
there's a ghoul over right now.
Swarming. Those guys are fun, and of course within each of the other thing. Sorry, I know we said rapid fire, but within each of those types, Just like our orcs, not as much diversity, but just like those orcs, there's variations within each of those species as well, so rare ones and stuff. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm getting reminded of something, but it's the...
Oh, no, not at all. So we have a number of exclusive giveaways that Monolith and Warner Bros. Have provided, and throughout the broadcast here, you have a chance to win them. Just a quick reminder, if you pre-order the game now, you can get the Dark Ranger character skin, and if you register for a WBID, you get the exclusive, which is an Orc Hunter rune. So you'll see those links fly by in the chat. Just click on them, and you'll be directed to the right place. But we're going to give away our first shirt. This was an E3 exclusive from you guys.
Cool.
And all you have to do at home is answer this question. The first person to get it will win a shirt.
Okay, wait. We're about to do a giveaway.
Yep.
We're going to ask a question. First person to get it is going to get a shirt
I'm winning it.
Right now. Pay attention, everybody.
Absolutely. All right. Here it is. When is the release date of the game?
Oh, I know.
When is the release date of the game? That's the question. We got less than 2 minutes before we go to a quick commercial. When's the release date?
It's a pretty awesome shirt, too.
It's an
Wearing it
amazing
right now.
shirt. Ooh. There it is. There it is in Skype. No. Oh, MK Ultra got it. I believe MK Ultra got it first.
Really?
Nope. No.
Nope. Yopi stinks.
Yop it stank. You just won a shirt.
Yop it stank. Boom.
We're gonna tell you how to redeem it in the chat. So just watch for that. Back to you.
Okay.
There's going to be more giveaways
Throughout the whole broadcast.
Okay, so we're back. Right. So here we go. Where is everyone at? So Bob's infiltrated in. Sorry, I haven't been watching, so I'm not sure where he's at. I think he may have even... Have you drawn out this watch? No, he's not. He's still preparing things here.
We've got about 1 minute before we're going to take a quick little break.
Bob's infiltrated in. Sorry, I haven't been watching, so I'm not sure where he's... Oh, he's hunting this bodyguard, but he's actually triggered that Monster Hunter's hatred, so this should get pretty crazy. The one thing it's a shame you guys can't hear is, of course, all of these showdowns and all of the sort of orc dialogue that where they're able to speak to and acknowledge what's happening. They're obviously a lot more fun to listen to about this stuff than me. But it's really cool the way they do actually know what's going on. They're responding to everything that's going on, their hates, their fears, their missions, what people have done before. So Ishmael's here, the lookout. See that green icon over his head? That means we can grab him, burrow into his mind.
We got 10 seconds, and then we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and you're going to see some more unique gameplay and more direct questions answered by Monolith itself. The magic is happening, and you're here. More giveaways.
We continue our gameplay feature series by exploring Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis System. The Nemesis System creates personal interactions with your unique enemies. Every enemy will remember their encounters with you.
Killed you? Now you're back? Just my rotten luck.
A coward could try to flee to fight another day.
I'm not staying around for this. Another day!
Or a loyal captain could defend their master to the death.
You want my master? You gotta come through me. You ain't coming through me.
A warrior that strikes a death blow against Talion will gloat in a future encounter.
Is this some kind of joke? I killed you already.
Every reaction is informed by a combination of unique personality traits and past interactions, evolving the world around you in surprising ways.
Don't you move or I'll miss. I hate that.
Using the power of the Wraith, you may choose how to disrupt Sauron's war machine by creating power struggles within Orc society. Grow the power of your forces by helping them successfully complete missions. Or bring down Sauron's army from within by commanding your enemies to battle one another. Duels, beast hunts, and feasts.
Time to feast.
The Nemesis System creates a living, breathing, dynamic Orc society within Mordor, enabling every player to create their own unique villains and stories, and ensuring no two playthroughs are ever the same. As you kill, dominate, and terrify your way through the ranks of Sauron's forces, you can ultimately build your own powerful army, challenging the Dark Lord and bending Mordor to your will.
Okay, we're back. We've got Monolith Productions in the Twin Galaxies Live. Get close? Yeah. Get in there? I'm in there. Dude, we got Shadow of Mordor here. We're answering questions. We're like, I mean, the questions, by the way, have been great. We're doing giveaways. Jen, if you want to hop on and just say what other giveaways we're going to have.
Absolutely. It's we have 9 more exclusive shirts that were only gettable if you went to E3. The only other place to get them is tonight if you answer one of these questions that are coming up.
Yeah, so we're going to have the trivia questions, 9 more shirts. Basically, you're going to see the Nemesis System in action here, and we have 3 people who can play the game all at the same time. You can watch the permutations take place. If you aren't watching at twingalaxieslive.com, that means you're not able to click and choose those windows that you see and make them bigger. So if you're only on Twitch, you won't be able to click and choose and make them bigger, but if you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you'll be able to control which one you see, and you still see everything else. Up to you. Here's my man, Michael, one of the designers.
Yeah, cool. So a couple of questions that came up there as well. I'm muted. Now I'm back. Avernus Coduil, what does the Nemesis System do? So yeah, it's obviously we're going to a lot of effort to make this living world. So after you finish the story, you can absolutely stay in Mordor and keep bending it to your will for as long as you like. And additionally, we've got our challenge mode, which is another mode where you can play and actually compete against your friends to try and take down custom versions of Sauron's army, and then you can get scored. Can you do it without dying? Can you do it within a certain time limit? How many points can you score? And then we've got a whole bunch of leaderboards for that, so that's pretty fun as well. Right, so here we are. We're back with Bob. He's just managed to take down another one of these bodyguards. That's earned him a bow rune. And so that's keynote. So now he's going to get focused for killing with the bow. So he's really going to be able to, when he gets into this boss fight, really sort of move into the spirit world, use that slow-mo, have a lot of focus and kind of take control of that fight as well. Sorry, Bob, can you just go back in the army screen? I just want to see where we're at with our war chief. Sorry, Bob, can you hear me at all?
Yeah, let me just get out of dodge.
Is he? Okay, no worries. He's just getting out, trying to find
Bob,
somewhere safer. Okay. Right. Delta Boss. Well, just waiting for Bob to get somewhere a bit safer.
Is there co-op?
We don't have co-op. This is a single-player game, but the social features we have our vendettas, where if one of these guys takes you down, it can actually create a mission, a side mission in your friend's game, where they can go and take down that Nemesis enemy that defeated you, and then you both get rewarded for that. And we have the challenge mode. That is so Bob, classic Bob. That is so true. Come on. All right, okay, we're out. There we go.
What could we expect an end game power level for a captain to look like?
That's a great question. So this guy here, Zumug the Defender, he's never going to get to find that out because he's cleared out the 2 bodyguards. He's also learned his strengths and weaknesses, and now he's ready to get into that stronghold and take him down. So as you'll see, Zumug here, he's level 10. We can get a pretty good look at what those sort of strengths and weaknesses look like. He's kind of a mid-level war chief. So basically, when you see this fight, you can imagine guys that are double the level of power of this. They get extremely tough. And then again, especially, it comes back to the fact that you're not just fighting one of these guys at once. You can be fighting multiple ones of them simultaneously. So I know this is pretty obvious, but one does not simply walk into Mordor and take these guys on. So, I mean, we tried to do that. The game's very, very tough. These enemies are really strong, but we also give you very, very powerful tools to take them down, whether that is head on, if you just want a very intense challenge with the action, like Jess is doing. I can't see, but I'm sure she's slaughtering her way through Mordor. Or, of course, the fact that they're powerful, you can turn that to your advantage by dominating them and turning them on each other. So, okay, so Bob should be pretty set to head after this guy, and we'll have one war chief down. He's Mark Zumug. It's his mission objective. You can see him on the mini-map. He's up in the right.
Delta Boss wants to know, can we occupy the strongholds?
You can't permanently occupy them, but well, not directly, but as you build your army and you dominate these war chiefs, they're going to be stationed in those strongholds. So, sorry,
that's cool.
Yeah, they're going to be stationed there. So yeah, you don't hold them. The world's constantly alive and evolving.
Frontestra wants to know what happens if every orc is dead. Will it instantly spawn new ones, or will you need to time skip?
That's something that we've spent a lot of time tuning. It's a really good question, and it's interesting because the goal of the Nemesis system isn't really, to make this like a strategy game. It's that we want the world to constantly be alive and constantly be fun and constantly be full of opportunities and interesting enemies. So if you worked really hard at it, you could clear these guys out, you could kill them, but then we do make sure there are actual ways that there can always be new guys entering the hierarchy as well. What you can do if you want to totally dominate the world is brand them all, bend the entire region to your will. But even then, there's always new guys going to come in and challenge them.
The American Bagel wants to know if you get to fight Sauron. That's a secret. You're not going to get to know.
Yeah, I can't. Oh.
You see? He wants to say something, but he can't.
I can sense. All right.
See? Look at that. See, the big boss comes in. Can't be saying things. That was a good question, American Bagel.
I want to answer that.
Okay, he wants it, but you get nothing.
Okay.
How much time went into getting the Nemesis system to work?
All of it. All of the time.
It's still going.
That's it. That's actually true. That's not even exaggeration. So, since the beginning of the project, and even then, that was already beginning from a foundation, at Monolith of having extremely good AI. So beyond that, there's the foundation of the engine to begin with, and then just constantly working on that. It's a very, very challenging problem that, fortunately, has really come together, I think.
C. Malin 0 wants to know, are there any defense missions like Osgiliath or Minas Tirith?
This is really, again, we've only sort of revealed these two regions, but this is really a game about getting behind enemy lines and kind of taking the fight to the forces of Shadow. So it really is about getting in there and, you're on the offense, I would say.
Matthew wants to know, does the ending provide for a sequel? And guess what? You don't get to know. You got to buy the game and find out, my friend.
You'll find out some amount of time after October 7, however long it takes you to finish. Yeah.
MK Ultra says this is an amazing system and that you guys have really done something here. So, congrats to Monolith on that.
Thank you.
For sure.
Okay, so where are we at?
What happens when you brand all the war chiefs? What happens after that?
So yeah, that's great. So the mission that we were showing at E3 was we've met this a new character from the game, Queen Marwen, and there's something going on there. She's a little bit mysterious. There's obviously some power at work there, and there's two things that she wants to do, or that she says she wants to do. One is she wants to realize the power of the Wraith. So she knows something about the history, the past, the abilities of this Wraith, and she wants you to realize those powers. And secondly, she wants you to do that to build an army to challenge the Dark Lord, to challenge Sauron. So she's really got something in common with Saruman there. Saruman believed that the strategy, that the only possible way you could take on someone as powerful as Sauron was by matching him power, by going head to head, and and using almost his super weapons against him, which were the Urukai. So that's very much how she's thinking and what she's saying you can do. And then, of course, that's what you're going to attempt to do. So after you've built your army, after you've dominated those war chiefs, you're going to take those forces and you're going to take them into the end game and challenge the Dark Lord in Mordor.
Husky Claw asked, outside of combat, is there anything else to do in the game?
Absolutely. So that goes back to the sort of, I guess, earlier point I was trying to make. Because there's so much to the Nemesis system, and because we really find, you have to see it in action, or ideally you have to get your hands on it and play it to really appreciate how it can play out. We've been focusing on showing that, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff to do in the game. There's a lot of side missions to complete. Hunting challenges, survivalist challenges, each of the weapons. We really want our weapons to be characters. They have a history that unfold through their own side missions and their own challenges. There's obviously the story missions where we put a lot of diversity of different activities. And the other thing, Mordor and Middle-earth, it's so rich and deep in lore and in history. And so that's really important. So the exploration and the collection and uncovering secrets and learning lore is a big part of the game as well. So huge range of different things to do. And then, of course, the customization of your weapons, upgrading of your character, lots of stuff.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and do a giveaway. We've got things to give away to the viewing audience. Jen is going to hit the mic, and...
Absolutely. Just a quick reminder before we do that, to pre-order, you get an exclusive with the Dark Rangers character skin, and if you register for a WBID, you get an exclusive Orc Hunter room. So that's amazing. Here's the question. First person to answer correctly gets an exclusive shirt. What is the pre-order exclusive?
Were you listening? Big question. What is the pre-order exclusive? If you can answer that question, you will win one of the exclusive t-shirts that they were giving away at E3. It's the only place you could have got it. And so this is here. Can you answer the question? That's the question. What?
There. Oh, Landiar.
So fast.
Wow.
I believe it was Landiar. Yep, Landiar Dark Ranger skin. I'm gonna excuse the skin. But yeah, you've won. Just make sure you watch the chat. We're gonna type in instructions. But back to you.
All right, we're now back.
Actually, just before there was a great question. We probably should have said up front. Was are we all playing on PlayStation 4? So yeah, Ryan and Bob and Jessica. This is all our live game on PlayStation 4 as well. So it's in really good shape.
Yeah, there's actually 3 PlayStation 4 dev kits here, and you can see that in the broadcast as they're all playing.
All right, so here we are. We've reached him. Bob's reached Zumug the Defender. We can see, all of that sort of work he put in earlier of eliminating those bodyguards, of drawing him out, of getting him on his own, has really paid off. So now he's got a one-on-one fight against this guy, which is going to be very significantly easier than if he was, unless he just wails on his shield pointlessly like that. Very, very much easier than it would have been if he had been surrounded by his bodyguards. Okay.
All right.
Oh, he's got an ability point that he probably should spend here as well. Okay, he's got behind him with his shield.
Can you become so badass that an orc captain will run when he sees you?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things we really wanted to do, I'll try not to get too lengthy in the answer to this, but we really want to make you terrifying to the inhabitants of Mordor. You almost are the same to them as what the Witch King or the Ring Wraiths are to the sort of free people of Middle-earth. It's the inverse of that. So as you grow in power and as the Wraith grows in power, they can become extremely scared of you, and you can't even get to the level where they will just flee in terror. Even some of the captains will have a straight up... Oh, I forgot to check his hate. So he's now enraged by being burned there. That's going to make this a little harder, but I'm sure he's got it. But, sorry, just to go back to that question. And then also, as you upgrade your 3 weapons, so Urfile, your sword, Akan, which means vengeance, your dagger, and your bow, much like we see in the Hobbit, when they see Biter and Beta, so Thorin and Gandalf's swords, they can recognize your weapons and flee in terror. And we also give you attacks and abilities like some of our stealth kills that are specifically terrifying, so you can make these guys break and run. So the other thing, sorry, and then I'll get on to the next question, but the other thing that's really fun about that is because these guys survive and fight, they'll live to fight another day. If they do break and run, A, it can make for some really fun chases, and B, if they do get away, they'll live to fight another day and they'll remember your last encounter. So, that's part of what builds up these stories around making your own villains. So fear is a big part of the game.
There were a couple of quick technical questions. One is this game look the same on Xbox One? And the other one is this running at 1080p 60 frames per second on PS4?
Oh, we should ask that. Kevin. Where's Kevin?
Kevin, here, we're bringing in the big dog.
For you, sorry.
Is on the PS4, is it 1080p 60 frames per second? Inquiring mind wants to know.
It's definitely 1080p, and yeah, we're going to do everything we can to get to 60 frames a second.
There you go. So he just said it would be 580 frames a second, and it's on the PS5. Oh, he also what about the Xbox One?
Go, Bob!
Does it look the same
so we have one war chief down. Yes. Oh, and so because he's taken down that war chief, Zumug's gone. He's off the pedestal. The world's updated, and that's dropped one of the epic runes as well. Oh, that other guy's getting chewed to death at the same time. So the epic runes, these ones are really fun. They can really help you change up your combat style, become extremely powerful. I just check it. That is. We get ammo back on our kills. Okay, so you get your ammo back on head explosions. This is a rune that's really fun because it can stack with some other runes. So some of the other runes that can start triggering more head explosions. So just be an inferno.
Time out. I was kidding about 580 frames per second. I was kidding. I was teasing them. Don't print that. We have 1 minute. We're gonna go to a little quick break, and then we'll be back with giveaways and more top secret information that you're only going to get here because it's secret and it's top. So I'm just telling you. So Michael, you can take us out for the next 30 seconds.
Okay, so Bob's got one war chief down. He can go for the other. Where's Jessica and Ryan at? Ryan, can you hear me? Sorry, I haven't been watching. Are you dominated this hierarchy? Show me this army
What's Ryan
screen.
doing?
What are you doing? Okay, he's hunting Northgo Hard Eater. I can see on the objectives he hasn't actually bent too much of Mordor to his will, but I'm sure that's coming. And Jessica, no, how many have you killed?
I've killed a lot.
She's killed
a lot. Okay.
Like 2 or 3.
All right.
Excellent.
In every orc in
5 seconds, and we'll be back in.
Silence! He has left his mark on you, as I left mine on the ones he loved. Where is he? I thirst for slaughter. He thirsts for the same thing as you. Keeps rising from the grave with the spirit that burns inside him. Drinks deep with slaughter. Yes. Moves like a ghost. Runs like a devil. I'll tell you, I've seen him face to face. He told me to tell you you're next. You would do his bidding. You will do. Brave Walker! Enough of your games! Show yourself and I will kill you!
I wish you could.
We are back with Monolith, Shadow of Mordor, and we're kicking this off with a giveaway right now. Jen, get on the mic and let's give a t-shirt away right now.
Yep, first person to answer this question, what is the exclusive you get for registering for WBID? First person answer.
What is the exclusive you get for registering for a WBID? First person to answer, t-shirt that you could only have gotten at E3. We're watching.
It's not that. Catcaster, not specific enough.
Got to be specific.
No, almost. Oh, C. Dover got it.
All right.
C. Dover got it.
C. Dover, is that who it was?
Uh-huh.
Well, you guys are going to be quick on your fingertips. We're giving t-shirts away. You're all going to be naked, or only be a few of you with shirts on. Just saying. All right. So, for those who are just joining the broadcast, we are showing the Nemesis system that's in Shadow of Mordor, which is essentially reacting to the player's action and making the game experience totally unique. And we've got 3 people playing the game all at the same time, and you can watch them all unfold incredibly differently, even though they're all starting at the same spot and they're all playing the same amount of time. So I have the head super designer, master chief of design over at Monolith, Michael here, who's answering questions and letting you guys have amazing secrets that you're not normally allowed to have. If you're watching this broadcast only on Twitch, you're not able to actually click on the screen and pick the video feeds. But if you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you get total control over which camera is bigger, so you can look at the gameplay, each person playing, without missing any of the action or any of the discussion. So it's up to you. Now I give the floor to Michael.
Excellent. Thank you. So I guess a quick recap on where we're at. We've got Bob Roberts, sorry, big night, our lead designer, and basically he's taking the approach of tactics, strategy, taking down the bodyguards, getting intel, learning the strengths and weaknesses of these enemies to go after the war chiefs. We've got Jessica Masnica. She's taking a much more direct and violent approach to getting things done. And Ryan Ladine, our designer, he's also focusing much more on bending these guys to his will, using the power of the Wraith and using domination. So I'm having a bit of trouble seeing all of what's going on with all 3 at once, but Bob, just a bit earlier, managed to take down the first of the sort of 5 war chiefs, and I'm kind of assuming that he's now setting himself up to go for a second one. He's having a showdown with this captain here. I really wish you guys could hear the different showdowns, because you can play this game for dozens of hours and not hear the same one twice, and they're absolutely, it's so fun hearing their different personalities and how they respond.
Stony Zoidberg asks, if a dominated orc dies, does it still drop a rune?
Yes, it does. They'll drop a rune related to their level of power and their attributes, but the things they won't drop, one is if you want to guarantee that you get a rune of a certain type, so for your sword, for combat, for your dagger, for stealth, for your bow, then you need to exploit their vulnerabilities, plan, and take them down according to their weaknesses. Sometimes we don't have subtitles for our showdowns at this point. And then the other thing is, if you want to earn an epic rune, which are our most powerful runes, the ways to do that is either to take down the war chiefs or to deliver death threats. And death threats you do by grabbing an orc, sending a message to one of these captains or war chiefs, actually warning them that you're coming for them. And so because they know you're coming, they get more paranoid, they're ready, they train, they become even more powerful, and they also get a gang of supporters that are going to defend them. So you can actually make it more challenging for yourself. You can make it harder, but you also get a chance of getting some of our most epic loot as well.
There was a question about who you guys cast to play the characters in the game. I don't know if you've revealed that or...
Yeah, we have, so quite a few of them. So especially, Talion is played by Troy Baker, who's just an absolutely amazing actor. He brought so much to this character, even over and above maybe what we initially had on the page, and just the thrill of getting to work with him as our lead character, and then with Christian Canamessa, who was the lead designer on Red Dead, as the director. So those two guys working together, as well as everything else, just did an amazing job. And I think that's why we're going to be so excited to be able to show more of the story and more of that side of the game in the future as well. And then everyone else in the cast was incredible as well. Alistair Duncan was, I so nearly said the name of the Wraith then. Alistair Duncan was the Wraith, and Laura Bailey, Jennifer Hale as well, Galadriel, that we hear in our sort of prologue. Just an amazing cast. It was brilliant.
The American Bagel wants to know, how far can a dominated orc level up?
All the way. So at the moment, I think we've taken them up to like level 20. And the thing is, you can do that. You can level them up. If you get them, you send them on missions, you help them, they succeed in those missions, they're going to level up. So you can farm these guys up. So you can have a full row of max level war chiefs. You can also get other captains, dominate them, make them be the bodyguards to those war chiefs. So, you can make a truly powerful force, and then you're going to be taking that army into the sort of final fights of the game as well. So, it really makes a difference to how the end game will play out.
Mark Goley asked a really interesting question. Since this takes place between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, how much of an impact does Talion's, actions have on the forthcoming story to be told?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and so there's a couple of things with that. One, of course, we're drawing on all of the history of Middle-earth, not just the events we see in Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, but the second and even the first age that we sort of see in the appendices and right through the history. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, cool. If she can just wait for us. Oh, she's going to die? All right, Jessica died. I'll come back to that in a sec, but I'm just going to answer this one quickly. So we know what's going to happen in Lord of the Rings, and that's 60 years in the future. But, what was really interesting to us was to explore some of the unknown sides of those events, of why they happen, how they sort of play out as they did. In particular, exploring Sauron as a character, because by the time we see him in Lord of the Rings, he's a pretty abstract figure of evil, whereas actually he's got a lot of really rich history. He's a great character, exploring kind of the secret history of the Rings of Power. But also, we learn in Lord of the Rings that Sauron is not able to take fair form again, but nothing tells us why he wasn't able to be there, coming out present with his armies and charge out, why he was sort of confined in Mordor during the War of the Rings. So there's kind of interesting questions for us to explore, and why is it that things got set up in such a way that the good guys ultimately got to win in Lord of the Rings. So that you can make a big difference.
So who died? Jessica died?
Oh, thank you for that reminder. Yeah, so this is really interesting. So this is one of the risks of taking that kind of headlong. Oh, she's on.
So this is Jessica now.
Excellent. So she's back. It's daytime. If we go into the army screen again, after we finish off this guy. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's a lot of death down the front here. I didn't see exactly what the world was like before, but we can see a lot of these captains that she's managed to take down, a lot of vacant slots, also a lot of new enemies, those black silhouettes that have taken the opportunity that times move forward to move in. A lot of the higher positions in the sort of army screen where they've moved up, and that there are in fact still 5 war chiefs, up there within this area as well. So that's like a really good example. And there should be. Oh, she didn't die to one of the captain. She obviously died to a monster, a Graug. They're really incredibly dangerous, both to you and your enemies. But if it had have been one of these Uruk captains, that would be a revenge target. That actually is another way you get an opportunity at those epic runes as well. Is MK Ultra, is there new game plus? So what we have is beyond we basically have kind of end game plus, in that you can, obviously you could of course start the game again, but We want you to be able to continue to explore the world, go after your enemies, play with the Nemesis system, continue to progress and upgrade after the game finishes. So we open up the world for you after the end of the story. Right. Can you, Itachi Killer, can you only pin enemies by the foot? Yes, the pin ability works there, definitely.
What engine is this game built on?
Monolith.
Okay, yeah, I'll let Kevin answer that.
Let's hear it.
Big
Monolith
up.
technology. It's a lot of people. Technology used to be known as LiveTech, but it's proprietary. Been in development over 20 years.
Are you serious?
20 years. 20 years it's been development.
Wait, are you serious? You guys made this?
Yes, this is our technology.
Holy sweet! I didn't know that. I thought you guys licensed Unreal or something. Wow!
License Unreal.
I know.
You mad?
You know, I thought eventually you had given in, right?
No.
So this is Monolith tech. So what that means is, by the way, since a lot of games use Unreal, you've gotten used to how it does things, what the expectation is, and all this other stuff. Since this is a totally proprietary engine that they built, you don't know what's coming. You have no idea. You can't even act like you know what's coming. So it's going to be a totally unique experience for you. And the game, I'm sitting here looking at it on a big screen, and I can tell you, it looks really, really good. Yeah.
So Brian is going to try something crazy, so he might die.
Really?
Ryan is about to try something crazy.
What's Ryan trying? What's he doing?
Confrontation mission. So why is your mission so hard, Ryan?
Ryan's gotten in here. I think we got Ryan up on this screen, so he's about to draw out one of these war chiefs.
Looks like, yeah, he's in there.
To draw this guy out, he's going to have to kill the hunters. So the objective to get this showdown, get this war chief out. We can see the guys who are marked with the orange icons over their heads, not that awareness icon. Can see them on a mini map. That's what it's going to take to draw this guy out. Kevin's reliably informed me that this is going to be tough. I don't know why.
Then Ryan tells me it's not going to be tough.
Oh, okay. So
that's just Ryan bragging.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe he's even dominated some of the bodyguards of this guy, so we could see a bit of how that plays out as well.
Now, this has been asked a few times, and you may have answered it already, which is, after the story ends,
Yep.
how do you play after that? How do you continue to play?
It's anyone a little bit hesitant in sort of answering that is not wanting to give too many spoilers away of how the story ends.
Okay, so let me answer then. The answer is they've thought about that greatly, which means that there is an answer. But they can't tell you because why do you get to know what happens after the end of the game if you haven't earned the ending?
Yeah, so we don't want spoilers, but you absolutely do get to continue to explore the world. Oh, this guy, Amug the Claw, he's fun. So we can see he's got that nice missing hand there as well. That's sort of some previous battle. Stumpy, yes. What else have we got here?
Can we have someone else do the contest questions, please? What do you mean? You can't hear them?
No, she's sore because I told her she wasn't specific enough when she said rune.
As opposed to which rune? Amug the Claw is getting ambushed. Oh, that's interesting. So Ryan's actually in the middle of a mission that's taking place between two different captains. So if either of these guys survived this mission, the victor would actually level up. So here it goes. That's been resolved. Rug the Watcher, even though it's Talion that's actually taken down his opponent, he still gets the credit for that victory, so he's actually going to level up. So he's up to power level 10. So that would be a really good example if that was one of your followers, someone you've branded, how you can actually farm that system to make them even more powerful. So, oh, sorry, that was actually Bob and the amazing tactics. I should have recognized that at once just by its pure genius. Okay, and then there's a rune to pick up out of exploiting that as well, and unlocking more sort of rune slots to make this even more powerful as well. So that's kind of paying off nicely. Who's up the top? Is that Ryan up the top as well? Okay. Oh wow, I missed this battle as well. Sorry, I missed exactly what happened with this war chief, but so now, okay, so Ryan's got a choice to kill or dominate this war chief. I think because he's showing how domination works, we're actually going to get this guy, bend him to our will, and make him part of our army. And then maybe we can level him up even further as well. So if Ryan hits the command option, we've got a war chief now. We could now, he's got one bodyguard, which is great. He'll bring them to different missions. Now, this riot, I saw a question earlier, which was how big can the battles get? You can take these war chiefs, they have their bodyguards, those bodyguards have their followers, and then you can match these guys up against each other. So these are kind of pretty big smackdowns between the sort of rival gangs and rival war chiefs that you can set up and create as well. And then there's also, you know, within the story missions, some other kind of pretty epic battles as well.
So Jessica just...
Oh, excellent. So this is actually a battle report. So this is what we see after death takes place. So this silhouette, this is a new guy that's moving into position. We don't know who he is. He could be someone we've met before. He has memories of us. He could be new. These other guys that are getting promoted, they were ones who are on missions in the world. And now as well, we can see that red triangle on that bodyguard on Prack, the Black Blade. I've got a feeling he's not long for this world. If we zoom in on him, I think he got lucky. He's deep inside the Nern fishery, which is one of the strongholds, and he's now designated as a revenge target. So Jessica doesn't know his strengths and weaknesses, but I'm pretty sure she's not going to worry about going through all that, and she's just going to head after him and wreak a terrible vengeance upon him. Go get him. Okay. Do the Rangers still... Oh, sorry. C. Mallon? Is that Matt Allen? Is that someone from work? No. Could be. Do the Rangers still hold Carcost and Narcos? So the Towers of the Teeth on the Black Gates, they have held them for a couple of millennia at the start of our game. Oops,
so
sorry.
with a minute until the break, we're going to do one more quick question because this is a long one, might require some Google foo. Guys, remember that if you register for a WBID, you get the exclusive Orc Hunter rune. That's for you, Kat. And the pre-order exclusive is the Dark Rangers character skin. All right, the question to win the next shirt is, what are the names of Talion's weapons?
What are the names of Talion's weapons to win a shirt? And we're going to go into a commercial break in 20 seconds. What are the names of Talion's weapons? Let's hear it. And in the meanwhile, in 10 seconds, we are going to go to like a quick little break. Not some long commercial. It's just more information on the game. So off we go.
We continue our gameplay feature series by exploring Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis System. The Nemesis System creates personal interactions with your unique enemies. Every enemy will remember their encounters with you.
Killed you? Now you're back? Just my rotten luck.
A coward could try to flee to fight another day.
I'm not staying around for this. Another day!
Or a loyal captain could defend their master to the death.
You want my master? You gotta come through me. You ain't coming through me.
A warrior that strikes a death blow against Talion will gloat in a future encounter.
Is this some kind of joke? I killed you already.
Every reaction is informed by a combination of unique personality traits and past interactions, evolving the world around you in surprising ways.
Don't you move or I'll miss. I hate that.
Using the power of the Wraith, you may choose how to disrupt Sauron's war machine by creating power struggles within Orc society. Grow the power of your forces by helping them successfully complete missions. Or bring down Sauron's army from within by commanding your enemies to battle one another. Duels, beast hunts, and feasts.
Time to feast!
The Nemesis System creates a living, breathing, dynamic Orc society within Mordor, enabling every player to create their own unique villains and stories, and ensuring no two playthroughs are ever the same. As you kill, dominate, and terrify your way through the ranks of Sauron's forces. You can ultimately build your own powerful army, challenging the Dark Lord and bending Mordor to your will.
We are back. We've got Monolith here, and we got Shadow of Mordor, and the Nemesis System being demonstrated live on 3 simultaneous PS4s in our broadcast. You see them from the left to right on the bottom of our broadcast. You got Jessica, you got Ryan, and Rob Squared. That's what I call him, Rob Squared. This is Rob Robert. Anyway, we're doing giveaways. We're answering secret questions, because you're smart enough to tune in. If you're watching this on Twitch, you won't be able to click on the player and select which camera you want to highlight and make big. If you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you see the same broadcast, but you can click and choose and control what viewpoint that you want to see. Never losing visibility on the whole thing. It's up to you. I'm here with Michael, who is the Uber designer of Monolith, overseeing the entire known universe. And he is going to take us through this game and show us things. If you're just tuning in, those of you who've been here, get ready for more giveaways, because we're giving away T-shirts that you could only have gotten at E3. You can get them here. It's the last bit, so stick around.
All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, right. So where we've actually gotten to, so Bob, Jessica, Ryan, they're kind of each taking different strategies, different approaches. Ryan has actually got to the point whereby dominating one of these war chiefs, he's now able to command him, and has created a riot. And this is basically a kind of little gang war between 2 war chiefs. It could be bigger if we invested more and they each had more bodyguards. That could scale it up. But gives a bit of an idea of how this works. So with these 2 kind of gangs squaring off against each other. So these guys here with the blue icons with the wraith glow in the eyes against Otha the Disgusting, and he's a rival war chief, and they've each sort of brought their bodyguards to this fight as well. Oh, so that's really interesting, actually. Good job, Ryan. Even on the enemy side, Otha the Disgusting, the rival war chief, one of his bodyguards, that guy with the blue there, who's just laying into this fellow, Mormog Hothead, he's actually been branded as well. So, you know, Ryan's really invested that bit of extra effort to dominate this guy as well. So if we can, not we, he's doing it, if he can manage to eliminate that war chief, he's got a ready-made bodyguard that's going to move up and take that position, and then he's going to have 2 war chiefs bent to his will and be, you know, well on his way to sort of building that army that we'd then be able to take into the final part of the game. So cool. So see how that plays out over there as well, and I think we can check some other...
So some people are asking, what was the correct answer for the question? Okay. There it is.
Raphael, Akarn, and Ascar.
And did we get a winner?
We got 2 winners.
We had 2 winners.
Yep. WinKid and Matthew.
See,
00190.
You tune into a broadcast, you're seeing like an exclusive look at a game, you're winning things. I mean, what else do you want? My God, we got the designer here. For the love of Pete.
Oh, so many good questions.
All these great questions, you're learning about the game. You didn't even have to go to E3. You could, right here now, this is the only game you needed to care about at E3. Anyway.
Cool. So, Motel Moxie. Okay, a time period between Sauron's return and the retaking of Minas Morgul. Is the city Minas Morgul or Minas Ithil during the game? So, yeah, that's a really great question. It is one of the things where actually, for the purpose of our story, we are actually following with the timeline in the movies. So it's all the same events that, of course, we see in Middle-earth. But what we do is associate Sauron and the Necromancer and his fall and his time of Dol Guldur with the defeat of the Nazgul. So the Witch King and the Nazgul have not yet returned from their defeat, and it is in fact at this point still Minas Ithil, the Tower of the Moon. rather than, sorry, City of the Moon, not Minas Morgul, City of Sorcery at this point.
Hold on a sec.
Ooh, okay.
We've not yet thrown any questions to Skype. So the people who are Skyped in live right now, is there anything that you want to ask? We can hear you if you say something. Guru, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So what, you guys are just being totally satisfied by all the Q&A? No one's got anything to say? See, look, they're nervous because there's so many people watching them. All right, well, that's the end of Skype's chance to Skype in. Although, if you're watching and you go to TwinGalaxiesLive.com, you can Skype in to Twin Galaxies Live 4 and Twin Galaxies Live 8 and ask questions live straight to the master designer himself.
Actually, there's some really great questions. Sorry, I've forgotten where they came from. But the what does Brutalize do? I really like that. That's one of my favorite abilities in the game. It really lets you come out of stealth and just enter into combat in a really terrifying and dominant way. So basically, it's a different type of stealth kill. As you sneak up, you grab your target and you actually do a flurry. So you stab them repeated times, and that does two things. One, it ups your hit counter, and increasing your hit counter is the way to get access to all the special moves, the chord moves, these decapitations, all of these other area attacks, race skills, combat domination. And secondly, because it is so brutal, it actually terrifies enemies, so it enables you to make guys break and run in the same way. So, it's a really powerful way to come out of stealth and into combat. Oh, Ryan just died. So this guy we can see that just killed him, Barfa. He was just a regular berserker in the world until now. This has been his big chance to move up. So he wasn't a captain. He's now taken down the Grave Walker by defeating Ryan. And we can see here, not only is he moving in to the hierarchy, but in order to do that, he actually killed one of Ryan's dominated war chiefs. So he actually battled against and took down part of Ryan's army. And at the same time, with this time moving forward, all of these other battles are getting resolved. Guys are moving up in the world. Hura Brawler won his duel. The other guy fled and ran away. So, the situation's changing really dynamically. But we can still see Ryan's doing really well, actually, because on the pedestal at the back with the war chiefs, we can see those icons, and 2 of those 5
have we seen Brutalize yet?
I'm sure. I haven't been watching, Jess, but I'm pretty confident that if I had, we would have seen some serious brutalizing. Excellent. Yeah. So it's the one, basically, from stealth, as you go through the game, you actually have a bunch of different options for stealth attacks. You have your regular silent stealth kill if you're trying to move through and infiltrate quietly. You have your brutalized kill, which is a great way if you're going to enter from stealth into combat. And you also have that you can use your wraith powers to brand or dominate out of stealth as well. So you've got multiple options to use stealth. Okay.
Will the different skins have things that the normal skin can't do?
Oh yeah, that's a great question as well. So yes, the skins that are released do come with perks for the character as well. Yep.
Are you going to include any Kinect voice commands?
We haven't announced any.
Top secret information. Beep, beep, beep. Good question. Top secret information.
I love this one. So Stephen Umbrello, how significant is the identity of the Wraith in the current story or the historical context? So very and both.
Very and both.
Yeah.
Are there going to be side missions and rewards for side missions?
Yes, again, both. So, as I sort of mentioned, we're sort of focusing on the Nemesis system here, but this is only sort of one part of the game and part of the living world. We do have a really, rich set of our story missions, our side missions, our challenge missions, exploring the world, finding collectibles, uncovering lore, uncovering history. So yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of those that we'll be excited to show later.
Is there going to be a collector's edition? Well, you know what? That's something that's being contemplated.
If there is, I'll buy it.
There you go. There's a super special edition that they're going to send to me privately. And that's it. and then I'll put it on eBay. You all can bid.
Okay.
What does halfling lover mean? No one has any idea.
It just means that, so that's a title. It's one of the many different titles that these captains can get for their personalities, and he has a particular affection for halflings, for the little people.
What does a sacrifice do? People saw it in the original gameplay demo.
So that was, yeah, well spotted. Whereas they actually probably won't have noticed it in this one. Really, basically, it was just terminology that we were trying to straighten up for the option of after you dominate someone, you still always have the option to kill them. Even if Ryan could probably show this as well, it won't make this fight any easier. But if we can see the guys with the blue icons on their heads that he's branded, if at any time he has unlocked the appropriate skill, he can just command those guys to kill themselves. They'll die, he'll get the XP, and he'll get the runes for that as well. So that guy on the right
looks like
sacrificed himself to Ryan's greater glory.
We got a question coming from Skype. What is it?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple questions, but I'll start with one. My question is, in the campaign, how many hours or how long can we expect the campaign?
The only reason I sort of hesitate is because, you know, we're only really discovering that ourselves as we play test it.
Well, wait, let me add. Do you suck at? Are you a crappy game player? It could take you a really long time.
Yeah, that's the thing. 'Cause it does vary a lot, but even at the low end, even racing through it, even QA, you know, it's a good 20 hours plus. So it's good. There's a lot to do, you know. But the thing is, every time you play it, it's going to be different as well. So. But yeah, there's a lot of gameplay there.
What was your other question?
I actually had. Are the arrows only available in race mode?
Yeah, without again not too many spoilers. The arrows and the abilities of archery and so on really have a pretty strong connection to the Wraith and who he is. Yep.
Nice.
Thank you. Is there an easy mode and hard mode, or just one kind of mode?
There's just the single mode, but what we've really tried hard to do with the Nemesis system, because it's so dynamic, is, you know, really give the player almost the tools to control their own difficulty. So if you want a really hard challenge, go straight after your enemies, deliver death threats, level them up, take it on that way. And, you know, if you want it to be easier, sort of invest in upgrading your character. You can become extremely powerful, so you can take these guys down, and, you know, invest. Just make sure that you get the intel, and at the very least have a look at the strengths and weaknesses of these enemies.
Is there a way to counter attacks like in Assassin's Creed, or is it just hit them first before they hit you? That's not us. That's not us. That's Twitch. That's not us.
Yeah. So the sort of core combat, the original foundation of the melee combat, was really very inspired by Arkham. So the triangle button or the Y button is your counter button as there's incoming attacks or multiple incoming attacks. Some attacks are uncounterable. So it's sort of built on a foundation of Arkham, but then of course, you know, very much its own thing because of how dynamic the combat is kind of in the living world.
Yapitz Tanks asks, can you explain how kill animations work? I'm assuming is that the slow-mo kill that they're talking about, or is there like some sort of play mechanic in the process of the kill animation?
Well, yeah, I think that's a really interesting question. One of the challenges is we obviously have a lot of fidelity on the animations and matching up and synchronizing all of the animations. We have a huge amount of variety in the attacks that the enemies can have. Plus we have the orc scale, so there's different sizes and everything still has to sync up. So basically it's a combination of a lot of systems, from the basic motion captured animation through to... Oh yeah, so
the question is, do you start at a graveyard or do you start at a checkpoint at respawning?
Actually, if any like Bob or Jess or Ryan can go into the Wraith world for a second, anyone who's not kind of in combat, thank you. And we can see there's a number of these towers that we can see in the Wraith world, because basically the Wraith world gives us the ability to see into the past, you know, things as they used to be, as well as as they currently are. And those towers are the respawn points, and they're the places where the Wraith reforges Talion after you die and time moves forward. So yeah, you restart on those towers.
We got a Skype question from Twin Galaxies Live 1. Let's hear it.
Caster actually beat me to it. It is, are there going to be any DLCs coming out?
Oh, sounds like you have the stream running and your thing running. We're getting an echo.
It's not mine.
Who is that? Oh, it's
Skype 2.
Twin Galaxies Live 2. Matt, you want to mute that? Twin Galaxies Live 2.
Never mind.
All right, it's done. Okay, can you ask your question one more time?
Catcaster actually asked it also. Is there going to be any DLCs after release, and if so, what kind?
I'm going to hand that to Kevin as well.
We have not announced anything at this point.
There you go. They didn't hear you.
They didn't hear me. We have not announced anything at this point in time. Is that nice and political enough?
Yep.
I'll tell you what, buy the game, all of you, and they're going to be forced to do some download content.
Yeah.
That's bottom line. Because they got to feed the beast. You know what I'm saying?
Already pre-ordered it.
Nice.
Excellent. Someone's an instant champion.
Excellent.
Are there any plans for the official release of the soundtrack?
Oh, wow.
I hope so.
Yeah, because it's pretty cool. Oh, so, you know, Nathan Grigg. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the fact that you're asking, yeah, definitely helps. So Nathan Grigg, our composer, did an amazing job, worked with Gary Shyman, so the soundtracks is pretty cool. And it's another one of those things, you know, because the game's so dynamic, so you might not get to hear all of it on the first time through because there's so many different possibilities, so it would be great if there was.
The orcs look amazingly detailed. How is their appearance generated? Is it randomized, or are your artists working overtime?
Yeah, that's a great question as well, because it's really getting that sweet spot between the character artists have just done this amazing job of crafting them, but then finding what are the iconic details. Well, first making a bunch of content of different heads, different bodies, different faces, then finding these iconic details that can make them stand out from each other, whether that's scars, whether it's eyes. We got guys with gold fangs, we got the missing hands, and then we've got all of their skin tones, their hair, their faces. So it's kind of a really super highly detailed Lego minifigs almost. So, you know, we can construct these huge variety of really iconic characters.
We're heading into a break. We're going to come back and do a giveaway. We're going to be away for a minute or two, and then it's giveaway time. Don't go.
He has left his mark on you, as I left mine on the ones he loved. Where is he? I thirst for slaughter. He thirsts for the same thing as you. Keeps rising from the grave with the spirit that burns inside him. Drinks deep with slaughter. Yes. Moves like a ghost. Fights like a devil. I'll tell you, I've seen him face to face. He told me to tell you you're next. You would do his bidding. You will do. Brave Walker! Enough of your games! Show yourself and I will kill you!
I wish you could.
We are back. We're back with Monolith.
Oh no, that's
and you unmic. You're
yeah,
good.
I'm
We're
good,
here.
I'm good.
We're about to do a giveaway. Monolith's here. We're showing Shadow of Mordor and the Nemesis engine and how it like totally changes the gameplay while you're playing it. We've got 3 people playing simultaneously in our broadcast, and you can see them on the screen there. And if you're watching on Twitch, you can't click them and make them bigger, but if you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you will be able to click them and make them bigger and swap your views around. It's totally interactive. Anyway, we're about to do a giveaway. They were giving away shirts at E3, so it's the only place you could get shirts, except we have some here. Jen is about to ask a trivia question. If you can answer it, you can win. Here we go, Jen.
But first, a quick reminder that this game, as you can see, is amazing. And if you know you're going to be into it, which you will be, you're going to want some of the exclusives that you can only get if you pre-order or if you register for a WBID. So these are the exclusives you get. You get a Dark Ranger character skin if you pre-order it. And by registering for a WBID, you get the Orc Hunter rune. So click on the links that are appearing in the chat. That'll take you directly where you need to go to get those goodies. And in the meantime, here's the question that you can answer to get a t-shirt. The very first person who answers, what are the 2 towers on the Black Gate called? What are the 2 towers on the Black Gate called?
What are the 2 towers on the Black Gate called? For a t-shirt, let's see the answers.
You can take
I'll
it
keep
back
going.
away. Yeah.
I missed who it was from, but there was a good question on what was a wraith exactly? It's a really good question. So thematically, well, in Tolkien, there's a lot of different examples of death and undeath. Tolkien, in his letter to his publisher, said basically that one of the core of these stories and why he wrote them is about death and the search for deathlessness, for immortality, which is hardly more than to say it's a story written by man. So basically that's one of the big obsessions of what all these stories are about. And specifically, a wraith is a spirit that's bound within Middle-earth. So, a spirit that's bound here in the world and hasn't moved on. So some of the examples of wraiths like that, of course, there's the ring wraiths that became deathless because of the rings of power. They were trapped here. Elves are interesting. Their spirits, when they die, actually get to choose where they go, whether they stay in Middle-earth and are reincarnated effectively, or whether they go off to the west. There's a lot of other examples of death and undeath, from the Barrow Wights that we see in the Lord of the Rings through to the army of the dead men of Dunharrow. Helm Hammerhand, a vengeful spirit in Rohan. So it's something that really comes up a lot in different forms within Middle-earth. But the wraith in our game is something a little bit unique as well, which hopefully will make a lot of sense when we reveal who it is.
Okay, we're going to try something a little different here. Ryan, right? In our broadcast, if you look at the screen, there's something that says Domination. That is Ryan on his PS4. And if you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you can click it and see it bigger. But Ryan is going to start talking about what he's doing, and we'll be quiet so you can hear what he has to say while he does it. So go ahead, Ryan, do your demo.
So I was killed by this captain. He's off celebrating right now on an execution mission where he's currently killing this other captain. I'm going to try to dominate this other captain and use him to kill my revenge target.
Excellent. Thanks, Ryan. So, sorry, I actually couldn't hear him, so he's setting off to...
Yeah, so he's set off to kill his revenge target.
Nice. Oh, so he's ambushed the revenge. This guy was going to execute someone else. He's exploited that, and now he's gone from revenge to actually bending that guy to his will. So really turned it around. That's cool. Excellent. Oh, so he's still ready to fight here. Yep. The challenge, but Oh, so he made him actually fail his mission, so he's not going to level up, and now he can get his vengeance on him. That's cool. And he's up to 2. Okay.
Why don't we do another giveaway? Oh, wait, you got a good question?
No, how does it evolve from 5 war chiefs to the end goal? So the Nemesis system itself, one of the fun things with that as a system is we can really evolve the whole game as we go through. So when we begin the game and we start, your goals are to hunt down and to kill these war chiefs in order to draw out one of the key villains, these black captains, who are responsible for the initial attack on the Black Gates. And, you know, there's obviously a huge amount of gameplay in that, just with the hunting, taking these guys down in parallel with all the other story stuff. Then when you get the message from Queen Marwen and you're actually drawn deeper into Mordor, into the Sea of Nirn, and you get your powers of domination and the powers of the Wraith increase, then the whole nature of the game really changes, and it's more than just about the action at that point and hunting and killing, because you get to actually build your army. And then once you've successfully done that, you get to take those forces and those war chiefs into the end game and actually take the fight to the Black Captains and the Dark Lord. So there's really kind of 3 phases of how the Nemesis system evolves, and we're really just showing the kind of middle one here. That was cool. Can you
customize your character as far as looks?
No. So the appearance of Talion within the story, that's something that does evolve as we go through the game, but he is really, you know, as performed by Troy Baker, and he is really kind of key to our story, and his look is defined. But you can, we do then have different skins that you can use and unlock for replaying as well, like the Dark Ranger skin.
Will the Wraith who possesses Talion be a known spirit from Tolkien lore or something completely new?
The Wraith, who we haven't revealed who it is, but I don't know how well known he is. It depends on sort of how closely you read Lord of the Rings or the appendices, but he's an extremely important and significant character in Tolkien lore and in history. In particular, he's someone that has a very close connection to Sauron and a big grudge against Sauron, and he's someone connected to the Rings of Power. So,
are there multiple endings? Let me answer that one. Yes, and if you actually end it in a particular way, the entire Lord of the Rings movies don't even get made.
Retrospectively,
the whole thing, the books vanish. I'm kidding. Okay, well, let's do a giveaway. We have 10 minutes left in our broadcast. This is coming to a close. We have stuff to give away. We're about to do a trivia question.
Absolutely.
And if you answer this trivia question, you will get one of the t-shirts, the exclusive t-shirts that they were giving away at E3. There's no other way to get them other than right here, right now. So get ready. Jen is going to hit the mic. And
what is the Twitter handle for Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor? What is the Twitter handle?
What is the Twitter handle for Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor?
And as they ruminate on that, just a reminder that if you pre-order, you get the exclusive Dark Ranger character skin, and if you register for WBID, you get the exclusive Orc Hunter rune. Back to you.
It's coming in. See, we're gonna have to comb the chat, see who got it first, or maybe you can pick a couple. It's up to the trivia master. Yes, and then Jen will let people know who won the last one and who won this one when she comes back in. And yes, you are watching the exclusive live broadcast of the Nemesis System. It is the coolest thing since sliced bread and zippers.
Zipper bread.
I'm just saying.
So I think this is Bob, actually. This is on, it is, absolutely. Bob's on his second confrontation mission. And this is Ishgar, the advisor. You can hear these showdowns. And so he's managed to draw him out. He's deep in this fishing village. You know, there's a lot of chaos going on. He's able to manipulate the environment. And we can see with the blue skull there, he's managed to turn one of his bodyguards against him as well. But, and can also use his wraith powers to bend some of these other warriors to his will to sort of fight for him in the midst of this fight as well. So, see how this plays out.
Can I call in an eagle?
No. Not in this one.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Monolith, you guys are awesome, and I have to second that. Monolith is the greatest gaming company ever, as far as I'm concerned. I have reasons for saying that.
And I wonder why you think that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Skype.
Oh, well done, Bob. So, Bob actually, oh wow, he's doing well. So there's 2 dead war chiefs. Third one has actually been dominated, bent to his will, and so sort of well on the way to building his army there, and 2 ability points, so can use them to even upgrade further, and is actually unlocked down to the sort of top tier of abilities. Some of these are really powerful. The ability to immediately kill any guys that you've branded. Oh, he's gone for that one.
Right now.
Oh, go on, yeah, dispatch this war chief and grab that rune.
For those of you just tuning in, your Monolith is here showing Shadow of Mordor. The Nemesis System, Twin Galaxies Live is bringing it to you. If you're watching on Twitch, you're not able to interactively pick which screen you're watching. If you go to twingalaxieslive.com, you can click and choose and watch the individual games that are going on and still see everything else that's happening. Make sure you click follow on our channel so that you know next time we're doing something awesome, you don't miss it. Click that, and we're probably going to do another giveaway soon because we only have probably 5 minutes left in our broadcast.
So the advisor delivered his last words. Bob killed him. His head sailing through the air, and that's the end.
Hey, John Carnage. John Carnage from Twitch is in the chat. Twitch itself is in the chat because they know that this game is amazing and they're here to support it. Just saying.
B. Holly, since random enemy orcs don't have crazy gear, advancing them in power, do they gain better gear? Yes. So basically, the way orc society works is the more powerful you get, the more you move up, the better gear you get to claim. So as they advance to become captains and then war chiefs, they do get better gear, definitely.
We haven't announced who won yet. Oh, did you? You put it in the chat? Oh, can you do it again? Yeah.
Dunmaros and C. Malin 0, and the last one was won by X Wolfblade X. So it's the last 3 winners of the last 2 giveaways.
And actually, I can't read that name, but it's a joke. Are there characters from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit in the story? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the obvious one, the big one, is Sauron himself. So you know he's kind of a big deal in this story. We get to explore a lot more of him as a character. Gollum, we've revealed, so he's in Mordor at this time because he's pursuing his precious, the Ring of Power. The Wraith, again, is, of course, someone who actually does appear in Lord of the Rings and maybe gets mentioned in The Hobbit, I'm not sure. And there are other sort of key characters from the story as well.
What is the most surprising thing you've seen? You know, you're developing this Nemesis technology, and you're seeing emergent behavior between the player and the game. What's the most surprising thing about it that you've seen so far?
Yeah, that's...
You know, just where you were like, whoa, I didn't expect it to be like that.
The one that I love, there was one I saw the other day, and it was an animation. I just literally never seen this before. So there was a fight, there was a riot going on. One of these war chiefs turned, he started to run and flee. Fire went off, he was on fire, he's in flames. Another one of a branded Dominator chased him down, grabbed his head, was pounding his flaming head into the grass, and so these guys are just taking each other, and I just never even knew that animation existed in the game. When you just realize this thing is bigger and more alive than you ever imagined, it's amazing. And
he's the designer.
Yeah,
right?
Everyone, there's no one I've seen on the team that doesn't get surprised, that doesn't see stuff where they go, I didn't know the game could do that. Yeah, and so many people are putting content in from so many directions. You know, the team's amazing, really amazing. Cool.
We have 3.5 minutes left. We're going to do one more final giveaway.
Yes, we can.
All right, we're going to do a final giveaway here.
And before we do that, just a reminder, guys, go to youtube.com/E3 and vote for Shadow of Mordor in the trailer. What is it called? The trailer showdown or something?
Oh.
Doesn't matter. We should win it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Shadow of Mordor should win it. So go to youtube.com/E3 and vote for this trailer. Anywho, the question to win the final t-shirt of the night is, who plays Talion?
Who plays Talion? For a t-shirt.
Waiting for that.
Come on. This is it.
squeeze.
This is where the magic is. Who plays Talion? Who was cast to play Talion?
He's very good. That's a clue.
Splur? Did Splur get it because of a typo?
A typo, really?
What? Splur gets it because of a typo.
Yeah.
Someone was ahead of him, but mistyped. They bumped a letter, typing too fast, costing them a T-shirt. Do we have 2 T-shirts left?
We do. The first person that typed it wrong got it anyway. But
All
stay
right.
in school, guys.
The
Stay in
first,
school.
oh, look at
There
that.
you go. Don't worry about that.
You get it. Nope, you're getting it, Thurby. You're getting it. So much love to you. Now we've got 2 minutes left in the broadcast for some final questions about this amazing game. You've got Monolith here. Let's see some questions and let's bring this thing out with some amazing insights that you only got on Twin Galaxies Live.
Let's see if Bob and Jessica and Ryan can take down one more war chief each in the remaining 2 minutes. Who's it going to be? This looks awesome. I think this is a full-on riot going on here with the Sawbones. So all of his bodyguards are dominated. It's our army versus him. He's really tough. Sorry, questions.
Are there trolls and larger monsters?
There are larger monsters. Graugs are a big predator that we've shown here. We've also the Caragors, ghouls. They're the only 3 we've announced at this time. And are there different creatures to ride? So both the massive Graugs. I didn't get to see if Jessica or Bob or Ryan got to ride them, but you can stomp around on those, and they can climb as well as the Caragors. He just killed a war chief. Why would you kill such a strong ally for an epic rune? So sometimes you can harvest those guys, and a bunch of XP as well. Do you have to read the books to have the full effect of the story? No. So I really think that, like The Hobbit, you can read The Hobbit without reading Lord of the Rings. You can read Lord of the Rings without reading The Hobbit, and the same. If you have read all of these stories, then, I think you'll probably get a lot out of it and a lot out of the lore. But if you haven't, really important that this works as a standalone story as well.
We are now 30 seconds before we have to sign off, and Monolith gets a break. And the answer is to the person who's asking, will these 3 streams be on YouTube to watch again? They'll be up in our archive, either on Twitch or up on YouTube. And Monolith will also have a summary cut down of this whole thing. We have 10 seconds. Marcoli, thanks for the love on the format. Everybody, thank you for being here. This is amazing. Monolith Shadow of Mordor, buy it.